It's the story of this couple who bought this beautiful older home, and the home had that kind of airy kind of feel, but there were rumors in the town about the home being haunted. But they didn't pay any attention to the rumors. You know, rumors are rumors. And they fell in love with the house, and they hired a housekeeper. But when it came that certain time, late October, you know the day. When it got close to that time, the housekeeper went to them and she says, I can no longer work for you. My sister's sick. And they said, well, that's what you told us, your sister's been sick. And they said, well, what does that have to do with you working for us? And finally, he kept talking to her and he found out the truth, that she was afraid to be in that particular house on Halloween. And so the man inquired more information. And she says, well, you know the church? You know those cement statues they have out in front on both sides of the door? He says, yes. Well, they come alive and they haunt the house. They come to this very house. The man didn't believe it. And he was sad that his wife overheard it, because the wife began to feel sad and a little worried and a little scared about this. And so they forgot all about this. And so on Halloween night, the wife was a little bit nervous, and she said she was going to go to bed. And he says, okay, I'll be up. I'm going to go outside and smoke my pipe. It was such a beautiful night. He started walking, and he really kind of forgot about, he promised his wife that he was going to come in, and he'd be right in. And he started walking. Well, before long, in a small town, he ended up by the church. And when he went to the church, he noticed that those two cement stones on both sides of the steps leading into the church were empty. See those cement stones, they were designed so they laid in a crypt, and both of them now empty. The man thought about his wife and he took off running. And he was running home as fast as he could because he knew maybe what the housekeeper said was true. Well, he ran into one of the neighbors, and the neighbor inquired, he said, what's the matter? Why are you running that way? And he told him, he says, well, I went to the church, and both of those statues on the side, they're gone. And the maid, the housekeeper, told us that they come out on Halloween and they terrorize, and they would go to the house because the house is haunted. And he was saying all of this a mile a minute, and the neighbor said, calm down, calm down. Let's go back to the church. I will show you how stones are going to get up and walk. So they went back to the church, and sure enough, those statues were there. They examined both of them. They were both there. One of the stones, the stone on the right side, they noticed that the little finger seemed to be chipped or something. But the neighbor assured him, so see, everything's all right. So the man felt good. And so he and the neighbor, they walked and they talked about the neighborhood and the wonderful things that were happening in the neighborhood. And when the man got home, he invited the neighbor in to have a cup of tea. He says, I will go and get my wife. When he went inside, his wife, her body was slumped across the table. And when he turned her over, they said her face was white, like snow. And when they examined her closely, in her hand was the piece of stone from the statue. And that's the end of that story.